Hello, everybody. It's so good to see you. And we are back here this week for part 2 of Back to Basics. So, as we know, during this time of year, everybody's getting, excited about all of the goals that they've set and, all of the things that they want to achieve. They feel like they have a fresh start, a clean start. But here's the deal. I realized, Dee, that actually most people have quit by this last Monday. So within the first 2 weeks, most people have quit their New Year's resolutions. Yikes. What do you think of that?
That's insane. You barely got going. What happened?
I know. So that's why we're bringing you these back to basics shows, and really, Dee has created some great recipes that we're going to get to towards the end of the show. But we're going to start with all of her favorite tips. So I'm going to let you get started here, Dee.
Sure. So last week we went over some prep and planning tips, a little bit of protocol tips. And this week I want to talk about two of the major things that go along with your preparing and planning. And the first one is your food journal. And when you meet for your initial consultation with your new coach, your new clinic, part of the contract you sign in doing this protocol is that you agree to journal. And whether that's an online journal, whether that's MyFitnessPal or the one on the IP app or the good old-fashioned paper journal, that is part of your job while on this protocol to journal. And even if you're not on an IP protocol, journaling is still one of the most fantastic tools you will ever have to ingrain not only good habits, but really, truly know what you are actually putting in your mouth. And if you come to me and you say, I eat the same thing every day, well, you know what? We don't want to see that either. We want to see a very, very wide variety. So something that we're going to be looking over, the reason why we need to look over your food journal is that is our number one most important tool in helping you be successful on your journey. And a lot of people think that we're just scouring it for mistakes, and that's just not correct. Lots of times there is under eating or forgotten supplements, or sometimes there is non-allowable food items in there, but you may not know, or you may need a little bit continuing education on there. Maybe you're missing out on a lot of macro and micronutrients. We can go over that. There are so many different ways that we can help you. Maybe further on in your journey, it's the food combining packets or the veggie combining packets that we need to talk about. Maybe you're not utilizing your unlimited vegetable list. Maybe you're stuck in a rut. Last week we talked about 10 different types of veggies in a week with 5 different colors. We're always going to be looking for things like that. So here's a few little things. I'm just going to read them off a list for you. And maybe some of these will sound familiar, some will not. But in your food journal, we want you to record every BLT. And that's not the bacon, lettuce, and tomato. That is the bite, licks, and taste. Every single bite, lick, and taste that you put in your mouth, we want you to record it, because there might be just some correlation on the reasons why you are also doing that. We want to see your water consumption. We want to see your coffee, tea, caffeinated, uncaffeinated beverages, every single one of them. We did some visuals this week on that to give a little bit more information on sometimes how you think you're drinking a ton of water and you may not be. We want to track your vitamins. We want to track enzymes, antioxidants, your collagen. Maybe it's the Jello, maybe it's a Blue Crayon. Maybe in Canada, we do have a collagen liquid. There are many, many other collagen sources. We want to keep track of those as well. Branched chain amino acids. We want to see your salt intake. And if you need Redmond salt versus the IP salt, a 1/4 teaspoon is a minimum. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. We want to see weights and measures of your veggie and your protein. We want to see it accurate. We want to see your unlimited veggie use. We want to see your 3 packets. 1 restricted, 2 unrestricted. If you need more than that, it is based on the amount of your lean mass, not your activity. We're going to check for non-allowables such as processed food, too much extra fat, You know, there are some healthy food items that while you're in the losing phase, you're limited to once a week, such as salmon. The reason why is if you're eating too much fat on your plate, you're not going to be burning it off your butt. Little things like that. And then there's another portion of journaling that is also important, and it is not mandatory, but I'm going to always encourage you to do it. And it's non-food journaling. And it is something that I anytime is a good time to write in it. Before bed is a great time as well. So in there, we're going to be looking for things such as your exercise habit, your sleep habits, your positive thoughts, your negative thoughts that roll through the day, times and correlations and how they are, you know, affecting your journey, work accomplished, work not accomplished, goals that need to be accomplished, goals that you haven't accomplished, daily goals, weekly goals, hopes, dreams, aspirations, you know, that you're looking to, things that have come to fruition, and then so on and so forth. So then you can add to your list. So there's a lot of personal growth that can happen within journaling. So we're going to look for that as well. So it's not just food related, but we're looking for that whole body wellness in the journaling part. So that is the journaling part. The other really important part of our protocol is the extras. And they really do need a whole other special attention, and that is sweeteners. Sweeteners, there's so much conflicting information out there. Sometimes it's conflicting information between clinic and clinic. Sometimes it's just maybe your coach touched on it and maybe you didn't really understand, and that's okay. There is never a wrong question or a silly question. We welcome questions. We want to help you with all your questions. But sweeteners, extras, additions, do you really understand the use of those, why you can have them, why you can't have them, and the restrictions that are listed within? So straight from Super Weekend Training from Mike CL himself, it is maximum 4 per day. Super Weekend Training. If you're a coach or a clinic owner and you have not gone to Super Weekend Training, we would always encourage you to check your schedule and go to a local one if you can. Do you know what constitutes a sweetener? Sometimes clients do not. Sugar-free, so SF stands for sugar-free. So if you ever see capital SF or a small SF, we're referring to sugar-free. And I'm just going to give you a little rundown of a few things that would be in a sugar-free category. So gum, mints, coffee creamer, IP maple syrup, Walden Farms maple syrup, any sugar-free salad dressings, any barbecue sauce, ketchup, seafood sauce, mayo, dips, chocolate syrups, caramel, blueberry, strawberry, any kind of syrups, any sugar-free liquid syrup such as Da Vinci, Tyrannies, Skinny Girls, sugar-free water drops. So there's tons of flavorol and stevia, and then there's a whole classification of Mio and other things that I would absolutely tell you never to have, but it's your choice. You know, there is so many items out there that are sugar-free. There is also over 50 different names for sugar. So you need to be really aware of what sugar really is and hidden names for sugar. If it is a 0 carb, 0 fat, 0 calorie product, it is still a sweetener. It is still an extra. The FDA does not require labelings to contain numbers if it is under 1 gram. So something can be 0.999 and the FDA says they can slap a 0 on that. So in reality, a lot of the times when you are having that extra, you are getting a full extra carb with each serving. This does include, I know I already said it, but I'm going to say it again, gums and mints. Gum and mints, they're each one you put in your mouth, it's a serving, even if it's xylitol, even if it's stevia. Sweeteners, they are extras and they add up. If your extra has carbs or fat, it's a solid no. It's a no. It's a no on the playground. It can't have extra fat. Once again, if you're eating extra fat, you can't burn it off your butt. Your body has to use that first. If it has extra carbohydrates, right off the bat listed, it is a no. Between your set protocol for the day between the packets you're eating and the veggies that you need to eat, you're getting all the carbohydrates that your body requires for a successful journey. So we don't want to look to add any more. If it has a few calories and it has no carbs or fat, please ask your coach. And if your coach is not sure, then they can send it into scientific support. All the extras matter a ton. They can really slow you down. They can really impact your week. And we just want to do our best to help make this a really seamless journey. So we don't want to cause you any more troubleshooting, and we definitely don't want you to do things that slow you down. So it's I know it can be a pain. I know it can be a little bit disappointing, but if there are things that you think that you want or need, we're going to do our best to find you alternatives so that we can work around that. So if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts on this, please ask away, comment, and we'll do our best to get you some answers if we don't have them right here off the top of our head. Yeah.
Okay, that was awesome, Dee. Let's go ahead and say hello to a few people. There's a few people, I think initially that couldn't see us. I hope you can see us. All right. Susan says, thanks for the invite.
Hello,
And Lee says, thanks for the invite. So awesome. If you guys are on here, the way that we get the most reach from Facebook really is through organic reach. And that's when you guys, if there's something that you really, really love, hit the heart button, the like button, and share this out to your friends. If you're a clinic, please take a moment to share this on your Facebook page. And it just gives us more and more visibility, and it helps our show grow so that we get a chance to share it with all of you. I want to say hello to Renee.
Hi.
And Kelly, nice to see you. We saw Kelly earlier. And Patty, thanks for jumping on the broadcast, and always tell us where you're from. So and send us your questions. So for all of you that are just getting back to basics, give us a thumbs up if you are finding it easy to just start the new year. If you've been on track, it's simple. But if you got kind of a little bit waylaid during the holidays, sometimes not so simple, right, Dee?
Not so
So thank you, Sandra. Sandra says she loves our show, and you know what, we've got some really great reviews. If you love our show, go to the review section and review it because we really do love it. Renee says Deb and I are driving back from their IP weigh-in. Okay, well, Renee, how did that go? Was that a thumbs up, I hope?
awesome.
And we have Dottie on here. She's from Olympia, Washington. And we have Teresa. Hi, Teresa. So, okay, all right, everybody jumping on. Ridgecrest, California. Hey, Ryan. Yeah. So, you know, one of the things that we did also, okay, Susan says, Red Deer, Alberta. There you go, Dee. Is that close to you?
Well, no, she's about 4 hours from me. Alberta's really big.
Oh, all right. Okay, that's cool. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so you know, we're always pressed for time, so we're now going to get to the recipes. So what we've done is we've changed a few things up, and now what we do is we actually put the recipes out on our blog, and then we send a weekly newsletter where you can easily click and find each of the recipes, and that comes out on Monday mornings. So these recipes from today, you'll get next Monday. All you have to do is type in the word newsletter, and then we will send you the link, and you're going to have to kind of subscribe to our little automatic get bought, and then it'll send you a link to subscribe to the newsletter. And that way you guys can actually just get them every week. And yes, we will still be adding the cards in here for downloadables, but sometimes it takes us longer. Unfortunately, Dee and I do not have a team. We do this all by ourselves, and well, not all by ourselves. We have Melissa, who does all our recipes and blog and all of that. We can't live without her. But there's only 3 of us managing all of this, and all of you cool guys. Okay, so Dee, to this, you know, I always put my favorite picture at the end, but today I put my, I actually put my, I had 2 favorite pictures. So I put them, I put my one favorite at the front and one favorite at the end. So I thought we would start with what I would want to start my day with, which would be these super yummy cookies. And Dee, when you posted this the other day and said, you know, how about cookies and coffee, and we'll talk about back to basics, I was like, yeah.
And you know, the great thing about this cookie is it does not taste like a protocol product. It just really doesn't. It is super tasty. It is super moist and soft, and they just get softer if you keep them in an airtight container. It's a simple recipe. It does use a little bit of veggie. The great thing about it is that, you know, you can use zucchini. If you don't have zucchini, you can use chayote. If you don't have chayote, you can use jicama. They all work. You don't need a ton of oils and eggs to make things. You could make this cookie egg free if you wanted to as well, or you can use the egg just for added moisture. The caramel mud cake lends that little bit of that real chocolate taste. And there's also oatmeal in here. And so it's an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. It makes 2 unrestricted servings. The beautiful thing about that is you can put your oil in for 2 days if you have trouble getting your oil in. You can omit it totally. You could eat both servings in 1 day if you adjust your oil amount. You do get a little bit of your select veggie in, which for, you know, a lot of dieters, reaching their vegetable goals is really tough. So one thing that we talk about a lot is ways to hide veggies into your food, especially protocol users who also think that they don't like veggies. And this is something that we're going to talk about a little bit more on, but sometimes you don't actually know what you like just because you don't eat them. So this one, I did bring these guys to clinic today, and they'll be here the rest of this week. So any of my dieters that I'm checking in this week, they're going to get to sample that cookie and just see really how simple and tasty that it is. So yeah. Aha. This was so fun. So cabbage, I'm going to touch on a whole lot of things right here. So lots of times clients are concerned about their weekly cost of doing protocol. And cabbage usually delivers a huge bang for your buck. It's an economical veggie, but you also get cups and cups and cups and cups of it. And so there's so many ways to make coleslaw or salads, but this week what you're seeing is food that I actually eat during the week at home. And so this one is a tangy cabbage salad, really simple ingredients. It uses lemon zest and apple cider vinegar and mustard and a little bit of amazing mayo, but you wouldn't have to if you don't want to. And paired with it is that's your potato puree, and it has grated purple cabbage right into those buns to make them awesome and moist. And they are, and just so y'all know, I really dislike that word, so I need to come up for the word moist. I need to come up with a better word. But they are soft and delicious, and I know a lot of clients say, well, I didn't really like the potato buns because they were dry, but we can create you potato buns that are nice and soft and really pleasant experience. So yeah, purple cabbage is a lot of fun. I love the color. And so there's just a close up. really neat today. We somebody had said, "Is that an orange?" And actually, I didn't have any regular lemons, and so that is a Meyer lemon that you see, and that is the actual color of that lemon. That there's no filters or anything applied to these pictures. That is the true color of the cabbage and the true color of a Meyer lemon. And typically, Meyer lemons are used for baking. But if you like lemons, you will like Meyer lemons as well. That was what was available this week in my grocery store. So, yeah.
So I had a question about that, Dee. So a Meyer lemon, in my understanding, is a combination of an orange and a lemon. Is that true?
Yes, it's a type. It's a type of orange.
So is that acceptable for phase one or not?
Yeah. So if you actually Google so I did the nutritional value homework. It's the same as a regular lemon. So the interesting, yeah. So instead of an orange, I can't remember now. There are different species of Meyer lemons as well. So some will say right on the bag about the type of orange that it's crossed with. But the really neat thing about this recipe is that you're basically using the zest of that lemon. So the rind is what you're doing. You're using the zest of it, so you're getting the natural flavoring from the oils of the zest of that lemon. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that was just a question that I personally had because I was like, I don't know.
I think it's really important to talk about lemons because they are an approved seasoning. However, and there's been a lot over the years, there's been a lot of arguments about lemon. Like you can use them unlimited, but you know what? Lemon juice still has carbs. So you can't just, squeeze lemons to your heart's content because it could add up also. So we still have to be mindful of how we use them.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is this delicious looking sandwich, which I think got more comments and reactions than anything you've made so far in the last 8 months. Yes, everybody, you can have a sandwich.
Yeah.
So what do you call this? This is your clubhouse. Oh, that's right. This is the clubhouse and kohlrabi fries. So somebody said, kohlrabi, ick.
I love kohlrabi, but I'll tell you, I guess I don't pronounce it properly because if I'm using dictation, it spells kohlrabi, Callrobie. So
okay.
I don't say it right. Kohlrabi has this great peppery taste on its own. And as kids, we used to eat them straight out of the garden. We just peel them, put salt on them. And I really, really liked them. And so if you like turnips and you like rutabaga, I would totally give this guy a try. They are a little bit more delicate than, say, rutabaga. So you don't need to cook them quite as long. And they don't get quite as crispy. So as a rutabaga or a turnip. But they have great flavor roasted. And so this, whatever herbs or spices that you put on them, they just need a little bit gentler heat. As you can see, those ones got a little bit brown, but they still tasted really good as a roasted veggie. And so the week before, we showed you artisan bread. And I really like getting feedback on the breads we make. And the reason why is because sometimes clients will come back and say that was the best bread ever. And then the next one I do, they'll be like, that's disgusting. Like, I didn't like it. And I'm like, fair enough. Like, but sometimes, so the artisan bread is really one of those kind of multifunctional breads. You can put any herbs in it that you like to spruce up the taste, but it works great for stuffing. But the pieces are actually big enough. So that's just one serving of bread and it's cut into 3. So there's actually a middle layer of bread in there as well. Don't know if you can kind of see it there. It's got, everything's really kind of, I guess you can. And I sliced it and toasted it and then assembled a clubhouse sandwich. And the reason why I did that is just recently we were out in a restaurant and one of my co-diners ordered a clubhouse sandwich and it looked fantastic. And I'm like, well, I can have that. I can totally have that. So, so I still had half a serving of artisan bread from last week's show. And so I decided, well, I'm going to use it up. I'm not going to let it go to waste. And there's no wrong filling in that sandwich. And so what I did was, because, you know, I have one packet, I split my protein for that day. So there's 2 ounces of ham and 2 ounces of chicken in that sandwich. And then I still had 4 ounces to use at supper time. So that was an absolutely fantastic lunch. And it did time me right over until supper that day because there was so much food there. And I still had a pack to work in after supper, and that doesn't usually happen for me. So yeah, very filling.
Well, okay, so here comes my favorite picture, because I always post my favorite picture last. And this is the omelet veggie wraps for all of you. People were guessing online what things were, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So tell us about this, Dee.
So this is actually the omelet. The wrap is Ideal Protein Omelette, and you know, over the years, this is one of those products that clients, they love it or they hate it. And I know that's a strong word, but you know, it just doesn't taste like their traditional omelets they may have had in IHOP or Denny's or wherever they're getting omelets built. But the eggs make fantastic wraps. And they just need a little bit of additional egg white and water, and you can make them really nice and thin and swirl them in a pan like a crepe. The thinner, I think, is the better, and they're a fantastic vehicle to then wrap sauteed or roasted veggies inside. And so, again, if you're somebody who has trouble meeting your veggie requirements or needs a few more ways to get those in, this is an excellent way to do it. And great for breakfast, lunch, mid-afternoon snack. It makes a lot of food as well. So one packet will yield, you know, 4 to 5 6-inch egg crate wraps. Great hot, great cold. Your fillings ideas can be endless. And again, any herbs or spices. And you know what? Even if you're in maintenance and you have some of these packets to use up, you put a little bit of melted cheese or avocado, another source of fat or something in there, and you are good to go. It's going to tide you over all day. Well, all morning.
Yeah, that one was a good looking one. So let's say hello to a few more people. I'm so glad you guys are jumping on and getting the newsletter, because the newsletter has really, it's helping us. We're you know, Dee and I are coaches. We've got kids. Dee's always in a car somewhere. We should start doing the show from your car. That's what we should be doing.
I know.
Teresa says the show is awesome. Been on IP 11 months, lost over 115 pounds, but struggling so hard the longer I am. IPOMG. Okay. So here is my comment for that. And we were talking about that. If any of you are on my community, it's called Renee Lynn's Nutrition and Wellness Community. I have a Facebook page out there. And what I did on Saturday is one of my clients had requested that I stream my my show my workshop that I was doing that was about tuning up and refocusing. And I have a client that's lost over 80 pounds. And she finished up in November. And then, of course, you know, poor thing had to go through the holidays. And actually, Melissa and I are going to be talking on Friday. I'll be doing a live interview with her. But one of the things she said was, you know, here you are, you're out in what I call the wild, wild west, right, Dee? Yeah. You know, you struggle. And so one of the things we were talking about on that refocus workshop is have a timeline. So, you know, my biggest words of advice to you, Teresa, are know how much longer you're going to do IP, and then that will help you so much. Yes, sometimes to lose 115 pounds, number one is amazing. And number two, we do really need in our heads that time that we are going into maintenance. So whatever you have left, put it in a timeline, set it as a goal, have a beginning, have an end, and really know, what that is, and write it down. So those are my words of advice. What do you have to say about that, Dee?
Well, so first of all, it's an amazing accomplishment. It's an amazing journey. So don't lose your focus on the why, and applaud yourself for the work that you've put in. It takes dedication. It takes work. If you need help with food ideas and new ideas or just different perspectives, reach out within these communities. If you're close to your goal, stay strong. We're gonna find ways to help get you there. I have everybody has their own personal experience. Everybody has their own setbacks. There's some fantastic reading material out there for cognitive therapy. So you're already, you've put that time in. There's a lot of value in that time. So we don't want to, don't lose yourself here coming into the end. It's so important to focus and reinvent. And you know what? Maybe you're going to have to step back and pick day goals and week goals and things like that while you focus into the finish. I do see you moderate another page. I know you do fantastic work. So, use your support community there as well. It's really, really important. And as a coach myself personally, I need to lose about 50 pounds to be at an optimal health. And I just know as a coach that all those years ago, I wish, and I know we can't live there, but I wish I would have finished and done maintenance properly the very first time. Now, I have learned a whole host of information and wonderful things, and take the little victories along the way. Remember what your non-scales are. Keep focusing on all the things you have gained while you have been losing along the way as well. So, you know what? Stay with us. Keep us tuned. And we'll be here to support you all the way through the finish. So
I love those words of advice, because it's easy to say, oh, I know what you're feeling, but Dee's actually knows what you're feeling.
Yeah.
I've lost 65 pounds, but I don't know what it's like to lose over 100 pounds. And I really struggled in maintenance for a lot of years, and so I do know what that's like, though, and that's why that's my main emphasis in my clinic, is really right from the minute you walk in the door, we're talking about maintenance. Because it does no good to do this whole exercise of losing weight if we're not going to figure out how to maintain it. Yeah. So a couple of other comments here. Susan says she loves the kohlrabi, puts it in the air fryer, but she still finds it kind of crunchy. Do you have any words of advice on that one?
Well, I think that the turnip and my experience is the turnip and the rutabaga get even crunchier, and I like that, but the kohlrabi gets a little bit crunchy, but if you like roasted vegetables, I still think it's fantastic. So, and the air fryer, we're going to have to do a whole air fryer show, because I'm telling you, this morning before I came to work, I did phase 4 chicken breast in my air fryer for my family, and I did phase 1 salmon in my air fryer, all before coming to work this morning. It is that easy. Throw things in, run, have a shower. Throw things in, run back upstairs, put my face on, those kind of things. It's so efficient. So yeah.
The ultra multitasking. Yes. Okay, we're pretty much done with this show, but we have one more thing. Susan asked what my Facebook page is, and my Facebook page is called Renee Lynn, which is who I am on Facebook. It's my alter ego. No, just kidding. My name is Renee. It's called Renee Lynn's Nutrition and Wellness Community. It is super long name, but I will put a little thing in the post. And if you want to join me, I do a variety of, we do a variety of shows. We're doing our Refresh Wellness Retreat that's coming up. Dee and I are actually going to meet each other in person and we're going to record that, of course.
I'm excited.
But in about 4 weeks, we're going to meet each other, and it's going to be awesome. Okay, Miss D, thank you so much. And thanks everybody who has joined us today. If you want these recipes, just type newsletter and make sure it's just the word newsletter. I know some people put exclamation points and different things on the end, and unfortunately that's not the way our little automated bot works. But go ahead and I will private message those people that I think need to get the link. But if you put newsletter in there, you're going to get the link to subscribe not only to our automated bot, which is going to tell you when our next show is. It's going to give you a little Facebook reminder and say, hey, guess what? We're going live in a half an hour. And then also click here and subscribe to the newsletter. And then on Mondays, we send our newsletter out with the help of our gal, Melissa, who's awesome. All right, Dee, love you. Love everybody. Have a fabulous week, you guys.
Take care.